Elizabeth Linton in WTMJ News.
One of the officers is still in the hospital recovering after an officer-involved shooting on Thursday night. Milwaukee County Judge David Borowski tells the Wisconsin's Afternoon News how the shooting may have been planned from the beginning.
It may be that there may have been a fake call to get the police over to that area. It appears by all accounts it was an out-and-out ambush. You have officers that were pulled from Bayview to the central city. So they're in an area that they're not as familiar with. They're not maybe quite as capable of patrolling. They don't know the ins and outs of the neighborhood, the alleys, the areas. And you have 2 officers shot and one in very, very grave condition.
Judge Borowski says more support needs to go towards law enforcement in the city and points out that this has been the 4th officer-involved shooting in the past 5 months. One of the world's largest fencing tournaments comes to Milwaukee, and thousands of fencers are ready to compete.
In total, USA Fencing says around 6,000 fencers from across the U.S. and the world have come to fence as part of the 2025 Summer Nationals. Coach of Atapa Fencing Club in Heartland, Appas Fidel, says the road to the 2028 Games starts here.
What happening is if you win here, then you get points. And you keep adding up till the day of the Olympics, believe it or not.
Fidel says the fencers at the tournament all range in different ages.
You'll have people from 8 years old all the way to 70 years old. As a matter of fact, we have 80 years old still competing.
Sean Brinda, WTMJ News.
The Summer Nationals tournament runs through July 7th and is free to the public. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:04.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no-regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing, and because her Accunet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst-case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no-regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no-regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
How do you get pee out of an old mattress?
Well,
I'm asking for a friend.
The best way to remove urine from a mattress is to trade in that old mattress for a new Beautyrest or Sealy Posturepedic.
But that'll cost a lot of money.
Not at Hasselus Mattress. Through Monday, trade in your old mattress and get additional savings of $248 off a queen and $348 off a king. And that's on top of our everyday low prices.
Come on, everybody says lowest prices.
Others sell a Sealy Posturepedic Queen Emeryville A mattress for $12.68. Hasselus sells it for $10.34. But through Monday, it's just $7.86. And check out the low prices on Beautyrest and more. Plus, free next day delivery.
What does my friend do with his old soaked mattress?
We haul it away for pee.
What was that?
Sorry, I meant for free.
Sure you did.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselus.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers continue their win streak, stretching it to 4 games after Saturday's win against the Rockies 5-0. The Brew Crew continue their series from American Family Field with first pitch at 1:10 this afternoon. They sit at 47-36 on the year. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. No major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by the famous Fox and Hounds restaurant near Holy Hill.
Buy one dinner, get one free 7 days a week at the historic Fox and Hounds Supper Club, serving lunch on Saturday from 11 till 2, foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast today. Mostly sunny, hot and humid with a chance of afternoon storms and a high of 90 with heat index up to 95 to 100 degrees. Tonight, showers and storms ending mostly cloudy with a low of 70. Monday, warm, humid, and mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and storms with a high of 82. Tuesday, mostly sunny, high of 83. Wednesday, mostly sunny, high of 85. And Thursday, mostly sunny with a slight chance of rain and storms and a high of 84. Right now in Madison, it's 77. In Green Bay, it's 74. In Waukesha, 74. And in Milwaukee, it's 74 degrees. I'm Nizer Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:07.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins.
And it is a beautiful Sunday morning in southeastern Wisconsin, and I can't think of another person I'd rather talk to on a day like this than TMJ former meteorologist Brendan Johnson. And Brendan, would you say it's wrong if I told you that I drove to work today with the top on the car down?
Did you really?
I did.
Oh, my.
I did.
Okay.
It was so beautiful. I couldn't help myself. I could not help myself.
I mean, I'm not going to judge too hard, but it's a little too humid for me. I'm blasting the AC.
Oh, at this hour? Maybe by noon, but now it's not so bad.
Yeah, well, then the dew point's above 65. I am one. Shut all the windows, AC, full blast. I don't want to feel that humidity.
Oh, you're just spoiled. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the weather. And I'm going to hold this because I know a lot of people want to know, what about the 4th of July? Because we've already got people who are up at their lake houses. Maybe they're planning some camping trips this week. Maybe they just, want to get away for a couple of days. How is it going to be? I mean, can we count on the 4th of July to be good weather this year?
Yeah, so we'll start with the holiday weekend forecast. I do want to talk about today's weather as well. But yeah, 4th of July right now, Thursday as well as Friday, looking like they'll be mainly dry. Pop-up showers, a few thunderstorms. It's early July. We're used to it here in Wisconsin, so it looks like it'll be fairly typical. Temperatures in the 80s. The one signal I see, Libby, for rain comes in on Saturday, late in the day and into early Sunday. Another cold front will drop in from the northwest. So as you're kind of planning around the state of Wisconsin, we're dodging some pop-up showers, a couple rumbles of thunder both Thursday, Friday. I think the coverage overall is low, but you could get a little bit of some rain. I, at this point, would not cancel any plans that you have on the 3rd or the 4th. But as we roll into Saturday, I do think that there may be a more widespread opportunity for scattered showers, a few thunderstorms across the entire state, especially later in the day into early Sunday. But it's Sunday, and I'm talking about the end of the 7-day forecast. So please, please, please stay with us because that forecast will get updated.
That's what I was going to say is we won't hold you to it exactly, but we just kind of want to get an idea if it's okay to go ahead with the plans. Now, what about today? Because you did say that dew point is way up there. We're expecting some really, really high heat index today.
Yeah, not nearly as bad as it was, the other week, but still something to take note about. Temperatures area-wide, low 90s, and the dew point's well above 65, near 70 in some spots. I call it air you can wear. The heat index will be in the mid to upper 90s. So I don't have a heat advisory to talk to you about, but it's Milwaukee, people. You need to, it gets hot here very easily with all of the concrete, the asphalt. So please, if you're outside for extended periods of time today, take frequent breaks, stay hydrated, and just keep the heat in mind.
I love air you can wear. All right, now what about rain? Because I know you're keeping your eye on a few storms that are out to the west.
Yes, so we have a cold front that is slowly moving through Minnesota. They actually did have some severe weather out in the Twin Cities yesterday, even late at night. I think they had a couple of tornado warnings around the Twin Cities area. So there is a cold front that is rolling through eastern Minnesota and entering into western Wisconsin. It's a slow mover. It's not going to clear our area until tomorrow afternoon. But today, there's scattered showers and storms that will erupt near that front, probably around 2, 3 o'clock, and then make their way eastward tonight. So after 7 o'clock, far northwest of Milwaukee, we may see the first of these storms. A couple of them could be on the stronger side as they enter into the area, so gusty winds, hail would be my primary concern. But they will gradually weaken as they get into the Milwaukee metro, probably not till 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. And then Libby, they're all gone by, midnight. Now, the front itself won't move through till tomorrow afternoon. So you guessed it. The front's moving through. It's still warm, humid. We'll have another round of showers and storms during the afternoon tomorrow, probably erupting around 1 to 3 o'clock, and kind of moving through just in time for, the evening commute, or at least clearing the area. Both of these days, marginal level 1 risk of severe weather. So could we get a warning, severe thunderstorm warning? Sure, but I don't think it'll be a widespread problem, but we're keeping an eye on it.
So looking ahead to this week, what would be the day you would plan an outdoor activity?
Tuesday, Wednesday, hands down. Mostly sunny, highs in the low 80s. Boom. There you go.
So just celebrate the 4th of July a little early.
Yeah, pretty much. We get a couple nice days, and then, we kind of get into this little pop-up pattern at the end of the week.
Oh, well, thanks for your outlook. We will not hold you to everything yet on your Thursday, Friday forecast, but we'll definitely be listening and keeping an eye on what's going on with Brendan Johnson from TMJ4. Always great to have you here, Brendan.
Yes, good to talk to you, Libby. Take care.
You too. It is 8:12 on WTMJ, and we have a very busy show today. We're going to be joined in the studio by a Wisconsin State Trooper. We're talking about getting away for some of the summer trips. How many of us really check the car out before we hit the highway? Well, he's got some tips for you. We're also going to tell you how you can nominate a First Responder of the Year for special recognition, plus a chance to win $2,500 in free gas. Speaking of those roads, we've got a lot of distracted driving out there right now. We're going to talk with somebody who lost her son to distracted driving, and she has some tips for young people, especially out there. Tim Gibbons from the Milwaukee Business Journal is here with us. He's going to talk about the possible future of the Iron Horse Hotel. Sandy Max is with Sunday What's on Tap. She's coming in person, too. And we're going to talk about Summerfest so far and what's been happening in Venice. You talk about just beyond excess. Yeah, the wedding of the century. Got a few things to say about that. Plus, our consumer expert has a warning about student loan debts. We're going to take a look back at the week in review. Isaac's here pushing those buttons. Nazir's in the newsroom. And in just 2 minutes, it's sports with Marquardt right here on WTMJ. As Brenda just told you, it's going to be kind of hot out there today, especially with that humidity. But overall, it's a typical late June day in the state of Wisconsin. 74 degrees at 8:14 on WTMJ.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Artwork, especially original artwork, can be pricey. But when you take it in on consignment from nice people like you, who are just ready to change the look of their home, you can price it right. And you'll find a lot of it at Design Exchange. Beautiful frame pieces by a number of notable artists. And new ones pop in all the time. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Now these tend to fly off the shelves. But don't worry, because our connection supplies us with a lot of them. Vintage ceiling tiles from once great old buildings in New York City that make for ultra-unique artwork. These items are definitely hard to find from anywhere else around here. So come take a look, and you'll probably find a treasure. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. In Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia problems, cognitive decline. It's their specialty. They're great at it. And they also offer early memory loss classes. They can help your loved one with locations throughout our state, many here in southeast Wisconsin. I've been in their facilities. They're top notch. It's kindness at the core. It's compassion and empathy at Azura. Wisconsin based and family owned. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers beat the Rockies in a landslide 5-0 victory yesterday afternoon. A 2-run homer from Joey Ortiz sealed the deal for the Crew.
Here's Ortiz, launches one out to left. It is deep. Back at the track, gone. Joey Ortiz, his 5th home run of the season, his 3rd of the homestand. It's a 2-run shot, and the Brewers lead it 4-0.
The Brewers and the Rockies meet one more time this afternoon. Our first pitch is at 1:10, and our coverage starts at noon with Brewers warm-up with Dominic Cotroneo here on WTMJ. I'm Mark Wart for WTMJ Sports.
Boy, I'll tell you, the Brewers are picking up here in the second part of the season, aren't they?
They are. I'm happy for them.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. All right, thanks a lot, Mark Wart. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we've got Tim Gibbons from the Milwaukee Business Journal here. He had an interesting week. He talked with one of the leaders of the Federal Reserve, and I asked him, I said, well, do these guys seem optimistic? You're going to hear his answer. It's all coming up on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It is going to be a really typical summer day today, mostly sunny, hot, humid. Chance of some storms later on today. We'll get up to about 90 degrees, but it's going to feel like it's somewhere between 95 and 100. 79 degrees at 8:18 on WTMJ.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on July 1st.
Turio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the New York Mets.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in July 1st at 6:10 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. If you're trying to make sense of the economy and where we're headed, Thursday, July 3rd, you need to check out a webinar I'm co-hosting with Annex Wealth Management Chief Economist Brian Jacobson. Thursday, July 3rd, 9 a.m., you'll get instant insight just after the jobs report is released. We'll provide instant analysis on the employment picture, answer your questions, and explain what it all means. Visit WTMJ.com, click the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out events at AnnexWealth.com. Thursday, July 3rd at 9 a.m. It's free. Register today.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Pam.
Good friends of ours moved there, and they had invited us over for dinner a number of times. And they said, we waited way too long. You should come when you're younger. They had no idea it was going to be this great. There are just so many things to do, and it keeps you young. I mean, we have a lot of residents who are pushing 100. I believe they're there and still alive because of Three Pillars.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. Comfortable locations, comfortable people. Church and Chapel Funeral Homes. There's one near you.
It's time to check in on our Siding Unlimited talk and text line with Timothy Gibbons, the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. A lot of talk this week about what's going on with the Iron Horse Hotel. Now, my understanding is, I thought it just emerged from Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Wasn't that supposed to be a good thing?
Yeah, so you and our listeners and really everybody could be forgiven for not following every twist and turn of this, because it is a really convoluted sort of thing. So to kind of go back a bit, post-COVID, like so many other hospitality businesses, Iron Horse really got hurt and was struggling. So the issue is they were going to be foreclosed on. They went into bankruptcy, and that stopped the foreclosure, and then they came out of bankruptcy. Now, this is one of those things, I have this conversation a lot with young reporters. Bankruptcy oftentimes is a good thing. You know, the idea of it's not great that a company is going into bankruptcy, but it gives them time to restructure, to get their ducks in a row. And a lot of companies go into bankruptcy, come out, and actually come out stronger. That was obviously the hope of the Iron Horse owners. And when they came out less than a year ago, the belief was, okay, now they're on good, solid footing. The problem was they still owed a bunch of money to their major creditor. And the bankruptcy paused the foreclosure, but basically, once that note came due, unless they were able to refinance it, which they were not, it was going to start the entire thing over again. And that's what happened. So basically, the bankruptcy gave them a pause, let them try to get their ducks in a row. Those ducks were not in enough of a row is what it basically comes down to.
So what comes next?
So it's going to go through this receivership process. The typical ending of that process would be that it would be auctioned off. The hotel owes something like $26.3 million. So the idea is that the hope would be is that it gets auctioned off for at least that amount of money that goes to the creditor, and then the new owner just starts moving ahead with stuff. It's a cool property. It definitely has a really well-curated vibe. People talk about the food there as well as the rooms being good. So it seems like there's an opportunity there. And sometimes, I'm not saying this is the case in this particular situation. I don't know enough to say it, but a lot of times all you need is that change in ownership, kind of wipe the slate clean, and somebody can take a good property and with those problems removed, actually have it come back to life.
Any rumblings about who might be interested in the property?
There are rumors. Some of those are probably names that you would expect, but nothing that is solid enough to actually say this is who the next buyer might be.
All right. Well, we will definitely know that you are going to keep an eye on that one. Next up, how about Fiserv? They are talking about launching something called stablecoin and digital asset platform. What are we talking about here? What exactly is stablecoin?
Stablecoins, everyone knows what stablecoins is. No, I look sometimes at the state of the crypto space, and it seems like there's a new thing every day. So simplifying this a little bit, listeners might be familiar with money market accounts, which basically is a investment type of vehicle, but a share in a money market account is supposed to always stay at $1. That's kind of what a stable coin is like. So the idea is it's a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's value goes up and down, sometimes very dramatically. A stable coin, as the name implies, is supposed to always be worth the same amount of value. So the idea is they have U.S. treasuries, they have gold, they have dollars, they have different things that back it, that if you buy a stable coin for $1, it's always worth $1. Why in the world would you want to buy something that always stays the same price? Well, for the same reason that you'd want dollars. You know, the value of $1 changes in some ways, but $1 is always worth $1. With a stable coin, you can get into the crypto space, you can move money around on the blockchain, but not worry about the value of what you're holding going up or down.
Okay, so let me just clarify this, because my understanding is with things like Bitcoin, you don't have FDIC backing of it or anything like that. With stablecoin, would you have that kind of backing?
No, and you put your finger on exactly the thing that concerns some people, including a very high-profile name I spoke with earlier today about stablecoins, that they are not bank accounts, they are not FDIC-backed. What they can be used for is it makes it easier to transfer money, for example, that there's a whole complicated thing on moving $1 from here to there is complicated. Moving something on the blockchain from here to there is less complicated, but it's not backed by anything. And when you have a company like Fiserv getting involved in this, there's a really good chance that there will be more widespread adoption of something like a stablecoin because of a big name like Fiserv. And that does have regulators a bit concerned. Right now, there's legislation actually moving through Congress that would establish a regulatory framework for stablecoins, but where that goes, nobody knows.
We have Tim Gibbons here. He is the editor-in-chief of the Milwaukee Business Journal. And you had a really interesting forum this past week when you sat down and talked with Austin Goolsbee from the Federal Reserve. Now, did you sense optimism from him about the economy?
I sensed a person who is very, very skilled at trying to not betray too much of what he's actually feeling. So optimism might be too strong, but he's definitely looking forward to getting data that will determine if he should be optimistic.
That's a really interesting way to phrase it, Tim.
Yeah. So his concern, so this is interesting. Austin Goolsbee is the president of the Chicago Fed and is one of the people on the Federal Open Markets Committee, which determines where the Fed interest rates are going. And listeners probably are aware that this is a big political fight of the president would like interest rates lowered. Inflation is noisy. It's unclear. It looks like it's going up again. So that makes the Fed not want to lower interest rates. The big question is, what will the impact of tariffs be? Where is the economy going, and how does the Fed have to act? One of the reasons that Goolsbee was in Milwaukee is there's reams and reams of data that the Federal Reserve pours over when they make these decisions, but that data obviously is months or weeks out of date by the time it's collected. So this was an opportunity for him to, we had several hundred people in a ballroom, business leaders that he could meet with and basically get a sense of here's where people feel the economy is going, here's the investments their businesses are making, things like that.
And what did you sense from the people who were there? What was the message they were giving to him?
It is an uncertain time. The phrase that got used a couple of times was there's dirt being thrown in the air. I don't know if I'd say anybody is optimistic. I don't necessarily think people are pessimistic. I think for a lot of people, the uncertainty is a let's sit and wait and keep our powder dry and figure out where things are going. I've talked to business leaders for decades, and one of the things they all say, no matter who's in the White House or who's in the mayor's office or whatever, is they need certainty. They need to know, if I invest in building this factory, this is the regulatory regime that it will be under for the next decade. And certainty is something that is very hard to come by these days.
It's another story that I was kind of surprised about. I thought the Brookfield Public Market was a done deal, that everybody was enthusiastic about it, but you found out that there are a few questions that still remain.
Well, everyone definitely is enthusiastic about it. And I think it's as done as any deal can be at this stage of development. as in the developer is definitely committed to it and the city definitely wants it to happen. The big question is what happens with incentives. So to simplify a little bit, the tax increment financing, which is the main incentive program in Wisconsin, basically caps the amount that the incentive can be based on how much tax revenue the project will generate. And there's a concern that the project is looking for about $20 million in what's called TIF financing, but it might not generate that much in taxes, so it could only get something like $15 million in incentives. So the answer basically is you either have to make the project bigger so it generates more of a tax base, or you have to scale back the size of that incentive. So the City of Brookfield's development authority signed off on the project this week. That was a necessary first step. There's a bunch of other hoops it has to jump through. And with the CDA signing off on it, it basically gave the developer homework. It said, okay, we're going to let you move ahead with this, but come back with some more information, some tweaks, some things that need to be changed before it gets through the next step.
So where does that leave it?
It leaves us with a bunch of people sharpening their pencils and typing a lot in Excel spreadsheet, trying to get to a point where those numbers match, basically. So part of that is getting letters of intent from potential tenants, which can help show that the project will be successful. Part of it is just saying how much exactly is this going to cost. So sharpen pencils and a lot of Excel typing.
Certainly. Now, this conversation this week, Tim, makes me think I want a beachfront condo. And I think there's an opportunity in St. Francis. Tell us all about it.
There we go. So condos as an asset class have been something that have had a very rocky road nationally for a while. And it looks like these condos that are under discussion in the St. Francis area would be the first ones built along Lake Michigan here in Wisconsin in about 2 decades. So we're talking about 89 condos. They would come to St. Francis, and basically they would be built with a lot of amenities, a lot of cool views of the lake, and interestingly at a very wide range of price points. So they're looking at selling them for $250,000 to $800,000, which is purposely aimed at trying to get a pretty wide group of residents there.
Hey, Tim, it sounds like maybe that could be a good investment for some people out there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens in St. Francis. You have any big plans for the 4th of July?
Probably heading to Summerfest. This is my first Summerfest, and so far it's been a blast. So looking forward to hitting that up for one more weekend.
Hope to see you there. Tim Givens from the Milwaukee Business Journal. It is always great to talk with you.
It's great talking to you as well.
And speaking of Summerfest, Sandy Max with Sunday What's on Tap is going to be in with us in about half an hour, and she's going to give you what the lineup is going to be next weekend, in case you're thinking of going. I'm Libby Collins, and coming up in just a couple minutes, we've got Nizer Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here for Certa Pro Painters. They painted the exterior of our house. I loved it because they're thorough and they're thoughtful. As a matter of fact, they pointed out some wood that might need to eventually be replaced. They just looked at the whole house, and I felt like they absolutely cared. Get on Certa Pro's calendar right now. The summer sales discount goes through July 31st. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C for your home or business. They'll do it the right way the first time. Each Certa Pro Painters business is independently owned and operated. It's Certa Pro Painters.
Save big on everything you need for your vehicle at Menards. Good maintenance equals longer vehicle life, and Menards carries automotive products to help keep your vehicle on the road. Protect your engine with Valvoline High Mileage Synthetic Blend Motor Oil. It's proven to maximize engine life in vehicles with 75,000 miles or more. Save big money on Valvoline Motor Oil. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group.
Are you a retiring professional? Worried about the direction of our economy? About making your money last?
Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement.
We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
While your record says that you prefer to hang out at the bottom, just make sure you don't leave anything over the middle.
Two-pitch Ortiz hits in the air on the left. With some carry. Frazier back, still back. Wall, it's gone! Back-to-back innings with a home run for Joey.
The Brewers host the Rockies for a 3-game series. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
It's 8:31. We've got Nizer Spencer in the WTMJ Breaking News Center. Sad news from overnight, a drowning in Pewaukee Lake.
Yes, thank you, Libby. 17-year-old is dead after jumping into Pewaukee Lake and not resurfacing. It happened just after midnight near the lakefront fishing pier on West Wisconsin Avenue. Pewaukee police say rescue crews pulled the teen from about 8 feet of water, but life-saving efforts were unsuccessful. Alcohol is not believed to be a factor. The investigation is ongoing. A 14-year-old is recovering after being shot Saturday evening near 60th and Burleigh. It happened around 6:40 p.m. The teen was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Investigators are still working to learn what led up to the shooting, and the search for the suspects continue. A Kenosha man is dead in a crash Friday night. A 69-year-old man was ejected from his pickup truck after it drove off the road and hit a tree. First responders were called to the scene on State Highway 50 in Salem Lakes just before 7 p.m. The man was pronounced dead at the scene. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Taking a look at the roads with the WTMJ Time Saver traffic, no major issues, no major delays, and full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by East Troy Lions Music Festival. Next weekend, live music, carnival rides, and fun for all.
East Troy Lions Music Festival is next weekend. Live music, awesome food, carnival rides, a huge beer tent, fireworks Saturday, parade on Sunday. EastTroyLions.org.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, mostly sunny, hot, and humid with a chance of afternoon storms and a high of 90 with a heat index up to 95 to 100 degrees. Tonight, showers, storms are ending and mostly cloudy with a low of 70. Monday, warm, humid, and mostly cloudy. Chance of showers and storms with a high of 82. Tuesday, mostly sunny and a high of 83. Wednesday, mostly sunny with a high of 85. Thursday, mostly sunny, slight chance of rain and storms with a high of 84. Right now in Cedarburg, it's 75. In Pewaukee, it's 75. And in Milwaukee, it's 75 degrees. I'm Nizer Spencer, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 8:33.
Thanks a lot, Nizer. And in just 2 minutes, it's the Week in Review, sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
Hey, John Mercure here. I am so done with those tangled holiday lights. That's why I'm super impressed with the permanent lighting solutions from Landworks, Wisconsin. Their team installs a discreet professional system that can make your home shine for any holiday, game day, or season with the touch of a button. And their commitment to year-round beauty is what Landworks is all about. It's in their custom-designed patios, stunning garden renovations, and attention to detail. It's Landworks, Wisconsin. They'll take care of you. They'll make you shine. Check it out at landworkswisconsin.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
I'm Jim Token, president of the Automobile Dealers Association of Metro Milwaukee. Nobody can keep your car running smoothly like an Adam new car dealer. Adam service technicians are factory trained and use original factory parts backed by a warranty. Best of all, you'll find competitive pricing equal to or even lower than independent shops. A well-maintained car delivers maximum gas mileage and saves you money. Call an Adam dealer today because you're always better off at an Adam new car dealer.
Get an oil change and safety inspection today.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. I'm Libby Collins. And coming up still, we've got Sandy Max coming in on Sunday What's on Tap. It was quite a week with a surprise move by the U.S. and Iran. The Ms. Outduels, Paul Skynes, and there was a violent scene on Milwaukee's north side. So much more. It's the Week in Review, brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited.
What we do here is go back.
Tonight I can report to the world
that the strikes were a spectacular military success.
Congratulations, President Trump. Your bold decision to target Iran's nuclear facilities will change history.
Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Iranian state TV reporting that Iran has begun operations against the U.S. base in Qatar.
Iran has fired missiles at Qatar, targeting the Al Udeid air base, the largest U.S. military base in the region.
Raise your voice, take a stand, no war on Iran.
Protesters gathered Sunday night at Zeidler Square to oppose the U.S. bombings.
And we are not doing strategic limited strikes. We are invading a country when we bomb them.
We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.
Can you hear that music?
A new task force has received the green light from the Common Council, paving the way for the 9-member group to solicit designs for a new Milwaukee City flag.
Not again!
If the process wasn't perfect, we can do better.
Task force for the flag.
It's just bogus.
Demetric Scott was back in court Wednesday. Judge Christy Yang opened the hearing with a warning about Scott's past behavior.
I'm warning you that I will not tolerate your attempts to turn court hearings into a circus.
Having earlier this week dismissed all 17 former members of the Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has named 8 replacements.
City Health Commissioner Dr. Michael Todorias says the newly created CDC Vaccine Advisory Board could impose limitations on what insurers could cover when it comes to vaccine availability.
Private citizens are going to have to find a way to get a vaccine that were previously covered under insurance.
It feels a little bit like Balboa versus Creed. Jacob Mizorowski will make his 3rd start of the year for the Crew. It'll be Paul Skeens on the mound for the Pirates. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Breaking ball down and away. And what a start for the Miz here this afternoon. Listen to this crowd.
I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome!
A woman is recovering after police say a man used an axe to strike her multiple times.
8 total charges, including attempted first-degree intentional homicide, have been filed against Hayden Daffinson.
There's going to be a long road to recovery based on just the horrific severity of the injuries that you don't wish upon anyone.
This is Mercurius.
What's the biggest challenge running a company like this?
I would say the biggest challenge right now is just, dealing with things that are out of our control.
Broadcasting live from the Pella Windows and Doors mobile studio at Summerfest.
Kind of a character builder walking in here. I got out of my vehicle and whoosh, I just got drenched.
Bottom line is, here we are. We're all smiles. Yes, my toes may be soggy, but it's still going to be a fun day.
The Milwaukee Bucks select Bogolyub Markovich.
In the first grade, when teacher asked, what do you want to do in your life? And I just said NBA.
Dispatcher at 6 and at 8 for command. Enter office 2030 North. We have 2 officers down.
Milwaukee police calling it an ambush. 2 police officers came under fire late Thursday while answering a call about a person with a weapon about 25th and Garfield.
Thursday night's victims are the 3rd and 4th Milwaukee cops to be shot in the past 5 months.
It is never appropriate. It is never the right thing to do to fire on our police officers.
For that coward that ambushed my police officers, if you don't turn yourself in, we're gonna hunt you down.
What are we, gay?
Oof. They don't know what they're doing.
Hey, this ain't the news show.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
And the Weekend Review is brought to you by Outdoor Living Unlimited. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to hear about those student loans. Uh-oh. Did you pay them yet? Well, if you're looking for an easy way out, there is none. We'll tell you all about it. Coming up on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It's 8:40.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service in just 2 days. My roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
EAA AirVenture Oshkosh is excited to announce that our early bird discount has been extended until June 30th. Get your tickets at eaa.org/tickets today and get ready for an unforgettable week, July 21st through the 27th. Experience the only in Oshkosh moments with a full week of air shows, world-class performers, aircraft displays, and a variety of hands-on activities for all ages. Youth 18 and under get in free thanks to the Boeing Company. Don't wait. Lock in today with early bird discount pricing at eaa.org/tickets.
842, 75 degrees. I talked with Michelle Reinen from DATCAP, our consumer expert, about what you need to know regarding paying back those student loans.
Now, involuntary collection efforts like wage garnishments, tax refund offsets, and Social Security benefit reductions are back in effect for defaulted federal student loans. And we want people to know before wage garnishment can begin, affected borrowers must receive a 30-day notice. And it's expected that that borrower in default may see wage garnishments begin this summer. But again, that's new information that creates confusion, so that introduces scammers, and we want to be sure that they're just aware of the different ways that they may try and impact consumers. So there are some red flags out there. First one is anyone or company that claims to offer requests for upfront fees. If a company charges an upfront fee to reduce student loan debt or assist in debt repayment, it's likely a scam. These types of fees are prohibited for loan service providers. And then there's promises of immediate loan forgiveness or cancellation. Before they even know the details of a consumer's situation, scammers might claim that they can quickly eliminate or reduce their debt. They may reference real programs that few people actually qualify for, or claim that they can dispute loans to wipe them out, or say they have a special relationship with government agencies like the Department of Education, and those just don't exist. Requests for a federal student aid ID or an FSA ID. Some scammers claim that they need this consumer's information to help them, but this ID should never be shared. Having that has the same legal status as a signature, and a scammer with someone's FSA ID could access their account and take control of their personal information without their knowledge. Then we see claims of limited time offers to get consumers to act fast. They'll instill this sense of urgency by saying that they could miss qualifying for a repayment plan, a loan consolidation, or forgiveness program if they don't act immediately. And then requests to sign a third-party authorization form or a power of attorney. These written agreements give a company legal permission to make decisions with a consumer's federal loan servicer on their behalf, and scammers use this to change consumers' contact and payment information, stealing their money without their knowledge. So a bunch of different red flags, and they can come in all shapes and sizes.
Are there any places where people can go that are legitimate if they're having trouble meeting their loans and they need some help?
Yeah, we do have some very trustworthy resources that borrowers in Wisconsin can rely on. The first is the Wisconsin Student Loan Help Hotline. This is 833-589-0750. And they're not going to ask for your personally identifiable information, but they may ask you some situational questions to help you navigate your own personal situation there. The Wisconsin Coalition on Student Debt, they're available as a resource, and that's debtsmarts.org. And then, of course, there's the federal student aid, studentaid.gov, an office of the U.S. Department of Education and the largest provider of student financial aid in the U.S.
It's going to be mostly sunny today, hot and humid. We've got a chance of some storms coming in later on. A high of 90 degrees, but it's going to feel like it's between 95 and 100. Currently 75 degrees at 8:46 on WTMJ, and you're a minute away from sports.
It's here on consignment from over 10,000 nationwide partners. From very high-end, distinctive furniture, unique antiques and original art, to tasteful home decor that can fit almost any budget. Premium home decor priced right at 25 to 40% off retail prices. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Smart interior designers know that what they'll see here is going to be almost impossible to find anywhere else, especially at our consignment prices. Premium home decor that's gently loved and close to new. And what we carry can raise the wow factor of anyone's home decor. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating tastes come to find premium home decor at a value. Design Exchange in Heartland and Pewaukee.
Design Exchange.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Rockies came tumbling down in Milwaukee yesterday afternoon. The win was finalized with an RBI double from Bryce Terang and a two-run homer from Joey Ortiz. The Brewers and the Rockies meet one more time this afternoon. First pitch is at 1:10. Our coverage starts at noon with Brewers warm-up with Dominic Catronio here on WTMJ. For WTMJ Sports, I'm Isaac Marquardt.
Thanks a lot, Marquardt. You are just a couple minutes away from Sunday What's on Tap with Sandy Mack. She'll be here in the studio with us right after that. Right after
the
this.
very front of the Brewers front office is on Wisconsin's Morning News.
I think it's something sort of our brand of baseball. You know, we're going to play you tough and play hard night in and night out, and we're here and we're going to fight you all 9 innings.
Brewers GM and Senior Vice President Matt Arnold is our Brewers 360 guest every Thursday morning at 8:45.
How soon do I start asking you about trades and stuff, Matt?
My phone's always on, so no.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
Erica, it's good to see you.
How are things at our amazing Germantown location?
Absolutely fantastic. We heard you had a bold idea. What is it? We're celebrating our 45th year in business, so I think we should give away some natural diamonds.
Wow, that is a bold idea. How many and how big?
3/4 of a carat. 9 natural diamonds, each one clarity enhanced for maximum brilliance. 1 diamond for each store.
How should we mount them, Erica?
We'll give them away as diamond pendants. So each of the 9 Kessler stores will have their own diamond pendant to give away? Yeah, and all a person will have to do is to walk into a store and register to win.
Can a person travel to all 9 stores and register at each one?
Yeah, why not? And people will have from now until July 28th to register.
I'm in.
Me too.
It's unanimous, and people should bring in all their old jewelry so that we can professionally clean it for them for free.
That makes so much difference.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Outdoor Living Unlimited. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's #1 TimberTech decking installer. We install anything decks and more. Stop by Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom and visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Yes, it's 8:50 on WTMJ. Libby Collins here. Why are we playing that song? We've got Sandy Max. It's Sunday. What's on tap? And yeah, we're going to talk about Summerfest, but why is that song so notable this weekend?
Because you're in an Italian mood.
Oh, I don't know.
You've been all over the Venetian festivities for the Bezos Sanchez wedding, haven't you?
If you had social media on, you couldn't miss it. It was everywhere. It was like, I don't even want to see this anymore. And I kept seeing it, and I couldn't unsee it.
Well, because it's sort of a version of an American royal wedding.
Oh, please.
And they have, in that level of A-listers, 250 guests. And
hold on. First of all, they're already married.
They
were already married. It was like, why don't we just go to Italy and have a party.
Right.
Why
That's
did
what
they,
this is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What,
They didn't want to deal with the Italian bureaucracy to legally get married there. So they've somehow I've been digging. I haven't found out where they got married. If they showed up at the courthouse with some fezzes on and just called it a day or what.
I don't always agree with Katie Couric, but she said the whole thing was tacky. And I tend to agree with her. I mean, it was like, really? If you want to have a fashion show, go to the Met Gala. I mean, basically, wasn't that it? You had all the Kardashians.
Mm-hmm.
You had, Chris.
Both Spider-Men.
Wait,
you had Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Both Spider-Men?
Yes. Lady Gaga was there. She
I didn't
performed.
know Lady Gaga was there. Okay.
Eva Longoria. Mick Jagger.
No.
Yeah. Well, because Mick has been in that fashion world for, Mick is Mick, but he's a legend and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer, but he's been romantically involved with people in the fashion world, and he's been a fashion icon himself.
Okay.
And then Katy Perry went to space with.
But she wasn't there.
But her husband, her estranged husband,
fiance. They never got married.
They never got married. Orlando Bloom was there.
So that's kind of interesting because they had all these single guys. They had Tom Brady, Orlando, Leonardo.
Is Bill Gates still single too?
I don't know. I think he's got a girlfriend / fiance.
But when I talk about a royal wedding, this is the level of people who are hanging out together.
Okay, but then it was, if you were watching anything on social media, then they were like coupling people up. Will Sydney Sweeney end up with Orlando Bloom or Tom Brady? And, the one thing I did see on the internet is somebody made the comment, if somebody happened to get pregnant at that wedding, would they get next day delivery?
Oh, my gosh. I did not know where you were going. Where's Isaac Marquardt with the rim shot on that?
Yeah.
That wasn't even a dad joke, Libby.
No,
that wasn't even a dad joke.
The answer to that is only if they have Prime. But I digress.
Well, it was interesting. I was at Summerfest last night, and this topic came up, funny enough. It's like you can't escape it. Whether you're a cynic and you're like, okay, enough already with the over-the-top, it's obnoxious display of wealth.
Oh.
It's not even like, hey, if I won the lottery, I'd invite all my friends and do something like this. This is just 80,000 roses inside the yacht for the party. Like, this is just every single level of decadence and in your face. It is absolutely their right, and they have funded this entirely themselves. This is my point. So
somebody said, and maybe it was TMZ, that it came out or comes out to about $50,000 per guest.
Okay.
That's what they spent, and probably more than that. When you think of the average American, they don't make $50,000 a year.
Oh,
to live
100%.
on. I mean, it's just, it was just obscene.
That's it.
You know, I mean, why? I don't know. I don't get it.
But
especially, they were already married, and they've been living together for 6-7 years, and they both left their respective
this goes back to another
spouses to get together. To me, the whole thing is just ridiculous.
But this goes back to another old joke. Why? Because they can.
Yeah.
But here's the financial part. Bezos and Sanchez, $50 million, but it's all privately funded. I did go.
No, it's not. I get Amazon.
Well,
it's not privately funded.
I hear you. Yes, yes. That's the debatable point.
You know, come on.
But more meaning in that when Meghan and Harry got married, that was $42 million, and a big chunk of that was for security. And the taxpayers truly paid for the security. But you want to know and this surprised me, factoring for inflation, Diana and Charles. That royal wedding was $170 million. That's how much it would have cost now.
But that was for tourism for Great Britain. This was for just two people wanting to show how rich they are.
But believe me, the Venetian mayor is all about it and says that Bezos embraces the Venetian mentality. And I'll tell you what, if they decided to do this here in Milwaukee and parade up and down the Milwaukee River and get married on a big cruise ship in our harbor, we would have welcomed that.
And
come spend your money.
Had brats and beer.
We were thrilled when
and
Kim Kardashian came to Summerfest last year. So
right.
come spend your money.
Did you see that Ken Jennings is in town?
I'm mad at him.
Is he at Summerfest?
I didn't see him. I saw he went to
He was at the Fonz.
Yeah, but did you see what he rated the Fonz?
No.
He rated the Fonzie sculpture. Instead of an A, he said, I give the sculpture a B.
Oh, I like Ken Jennings, though. I do like Ken Jennings.
But I saw that.
Ken, if you're listening, stop by the station. I'd love to talk to you this morning.
Yeah. He's a smart, but that disappointed me. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
come on.
But he must have been here for Summerfest. Why else would he be here, right?
I hope so.
I hope so, too. Well, maybe you'll run into him.
Maybe he's visiting past contestants.
Oh, that's right, because we just had the guy who was there, Micah. Is it Micah Fritz?
Something like
that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. All right. Speaking of Summerfest, though.
Yeah.
You've been there, it seems like almost every day. And
2 out of 3 days each weekend so far.
You've got 3 more days coming up. What do we have to look forward to in this final weekend?
Oh, there's a lot to look forward to, including one of the bands that's your picks. On July 4th, Gary Lewis and the Playboys.
I love them. Oh. How could you not be happy when you hear a song like that, right?
Good stuff.
If you need someone to count on,
count me in.
See?
All right, go ahead. All right. That's all the singing you're getting on a Sunday morning.
4:15 on the Briggs & Stratton Big Backyard. They have free admission from noon until 6 on July 4th. One of the bands that I'm super psyched to see on July 4th is Tripping Daisy, but you also have John Oates of Hall & Oates, Richard Marx, and the headliner that night is for rock fans, Bad Omens.
Okay, isn't Benson Boone coming?
Benson Boone's Thursday, July 3rd.
He's like huge. I mean, you talk about
the number
somebody
one
who's
streamed
out there.
song last year.
Well, the amazing
Beautiful
thing
things.
is, I don't know if I know his songs. I just know he does these flips all over the stage.
Yeah,
that would be
doesn't
worth
miss a
it to
beat.
see him. Yeah, that would be worth it to see him do that.
Yeah, he will put on his
he's
show.
Pretty amazing.
He will put on a spectacle, and it's interesting that he was an American Idol contestant.
Oh, he was?
And pulled out because he didn't want to get labeled as an American Idol star.
That was smart.
And interesting, really, really worked out for him.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So who's the one you're looking forward to most?
Truly Tripping Daisy on July 4th. They're a sentimental favorite. I loved that band in the 90s, so I'm very much looking forward to that. If you go to the WTMJ.com website, I've posted my picks, and I've also posted picks by theme. For example, Saxy Sounds. And
Saxy Sounds.
Yes, and there is a band. There's a man.
We needed a rim shot for that one, Isaac.
Sasquatch is playing on July 5th. A 7-foot-tall person dressed in a Sasquatch costume who plays killer saxophone.
Wait, is that the same guy who you had the other day who was playing the banjo?
No, and I saw him yesterday. He's Tall Trees played the...
He's like Sasquatch, too.
No, no, he's not. But I will tell you the surprise that I saw him yesterday performing at Summerfest at the Somerville stage. Met him afterwards. He's recording music in Sheboygan.
Really?
So I hope to have Tall Trees in on What's on Tap.
I love banjo music.
It's cool.
I've always been into banjos. I don't know why.
He plays like a psychedelic banjo and like Ed Sheeran loops. So has this little Casio computer that he builds a song right in front of your eyes.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah.
So summerfest.com, get the app. I mean, yesterday was gorgeous weather.
Yeah.
We're so lucky to have the world's largest music festival right here on our lakefront. So go if you can. Lots of free admission specials. The Summerfest app lists all the freebies out. And on our website, summerfest.com.
And Ken Jennings, if you're listening, call me. Okay, Sandy Max, we'll be listening to Sunday.
What is Libby Collins' number?
We'll be listening to What's on Tap all week, and I know you're going to have everything you need to know about Summerfest. Thanks for coming in this morning.
Thanks, Libby.
All right, it is 8:58. Well, coming up right after the news, there was a sad occurrence overnight. A young man drowned in Pewaukee Lake. We're going to talk a little bit about that and also the current condition of the 2 police officers that were shot on Thursday night. That's all coming up on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
Remember mixtapes?
I was more of an 8-track guy myself.
You know, the new Marshfield 7000 Sulfat Penny Mustard reminds me of the world's greatest mixtape.
We have taken the latest and greatest components of every configurable sofa and mixed them all together into one.
It's kind of like a greatest hits album, except you can sit on it.
The Marshfield 7000 Sofa, starting at just $89 a month with no interest till July of 2027. Through July 6th at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
When you need commercial or residential plumbing service, you need it now. Call Quality. We have over a 60-year track record of taking care of people. And with over 60 vehicles ready to respond to your needs, we'll be there in a hurry, so you won't have to worry. This is Anthony Zaneski. For commercial or residential plumbing service, call Quality and get the signature service you deserve.
call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. At Quality, we offer the most respected brand names in heating and air conditioning. Armstrong and Carrier. It doesn't get any better. And our technicians are top-notch. I know, because I handpicked every one of them. They're vetted and thoroughly trained. Hey, they're the cream of the crop. And that's why our quality workmanship guarantee is the strongest in the business.
Call Quality for the signature service you deserve.
Call Quality. Heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia problems, cognitive decline. It's their specialty. They're great at it. And they also offer early memory loss classes. They can help your loved one with locations throughout our state, many here in Southeast Wisconsin. I've been in their facilities. They're top notch. It's kindness at the core. It's compassion and empathy at Azura. Wisconsin-based and family-owned. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
Ain't no mountain high enough for this crew.
Fly ball deep right. Wow, Yelich demolishes one up into the night sky, all the way back to the wall.
The Brewers are hosting the Rockies.
465 feet for Yelich.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35. We are the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 9 o'clock, it's 76 degrees in Milwaukee today. Mostly sunny and hot with a high of 90. Tonight, some clouds with a low of 74. From WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Nazir Spencer. Hundreds of people joined together on Saturday at a funeral service for former Minnesota House Speaker Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark. They were shot and killed in an attack on their Brooklyn Park home 2 weeks ago. More from ABC's Zareen Shah.
Governor Tim Walz eulogizing the couple as warm, caring people.
Melissa Hortman will be remembered as the most consequential speaker in Minnesota history. I know millions of Minnesotans get to live their lives better because she and Mark chose public service and politics.
Their two children, Colin and Sophie, embraced each other, then draped funeral palls over their parents' caskets as the service began.
Attending the service at the Basilica of St. Mary in Minneapolis, former President Joe Biden and former Vice President Kamala Harris. An officer-involved shooting in West Dallas Saturday night.
A 72-year-old man was shot and killed by West Dallas police a little after 4:40 on 91st and Orchard Street. West Dallas police say he refused commands to drop his weapon. Prior to their arrival, they say a 71-year-old man was shot and killed by the suspect. A 71-year-old woman was injured, and it is unclear if she was shot. Police Chief Patrick Mitchell says this was, quote, a neighbor issue. No officers were harmed in the incident. Elizabeth Linton and WTMJ News.
As Officer Kendall Corder remains in critical condition from an officer-involved shooting from Thursday night, city leaders say more needs to be done to secure and protect the city. Milwaukee County Judge David Borowski tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News that Milwaukee has become more dangerous than it has 5 years ago.
Crime has gone up, homicides are up, non-fatal shootings have gone up and down, prosecutions are down in the course of the last 5 to 10 years. But particularly the last 5 years, everyone that I talked to, officers, people I ran into at a, Paris or church fair or Summerfest, people in the courthouse uniformly believe that Milwaukee's more dangerous than it was 5 or 10 years ago. That's sad, but yes, I think it is.
Borowski says that the city police need to get more officers recruited and tougher charges need to be placed on individuals causing gun violence across Milwaukee. In the wake of Thursday's shooting, the president of Milwaukee Police Association tells WTMJ that Milwaukee is more dangerous for police officers than it ever has been.
The two officers shot Thursday night were apparently ambushed.
The suspect was cowardly hiding behind some bushes. The officers never saw him. As the officers exited the squad car and they started walking in the dark alley, they just started getting rounds.
Milwaukee Police Association President Alexander Ayala says Milwaukee is as dangerous as it ever has been.
We went about 22 years without an officer getting murdered in the city. So then all of a sudden, it's just one after another after another.
John Mercure, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:04.
Sponsored by Accunet Mortgage.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no-regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing, and because her Accunet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst-case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no-regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no-regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com. Inc.com.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars, each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake, or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ish Nala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ish Nala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ish Nala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers continue their win streak, stretching it to 4 games after Saturday's win against the Rockies 5-0. The Brew Crew continue their series from American Family Field with first pitch at 1:10 this afternoon. They sit at 47-36 on the year. Taking a look at the roads with the WTMJ Time Saver traffic at I-43 at Brown Street. It's a little backed up with traffic due to that right lane closure. Just the 2 lanes, the one on the left and one in the middle, are open for you to merge on. So just be mindful of that going northbound on I-43 at Brown Street. Otherwise, no major issues, no major delays in full freeway speeds across the system.
Traffic is sponsored by St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores. Highway 100 and Layton Avenue in Greenfield. 23rd and Lincoln and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee. Great bargains and a great cause. You're gonna love it. St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Stores.
Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Today, mostly sunny with hot and humid. Chance of afternoon storms, high of 90. Heat index up to 95 to 100 degrees. Tonight, showers, storms are ending. Mostly cloudy with a low of 70. Monday, warm, humid, and mostly cloudy. Chance of showers and storms as well, a high of 82. Tuesday, mostly sunny, a high of 83. Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high of 85. Thursday, mostly sunny. Slight chance of rain and storms with a high of 84. Right now in Madison, it's 77. In Green Bay, it's 74. In Waukesha, 74. And in Milwaukee, 76 degrees. I'm Nazir Spencer. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 9:08.
This is Wisconsin's Weekend Morning News with Libby Collins. And now it's time for New at 9.
And Nazir, one story that I know you covered earlier is that overnight there was a drowning in Pewaukee Lake. What do we know right now?
As of right now, it's a 17-year-old who drowned near the fish pier near Pewaukee Beach. It's actually on Pewaukee Beach. It's the fish pier. They jumped in, then their friend couldn't. They called the responders, and they found him eventually later in the morning, and they pulled him up from 8 feet from water, and he was pronounced deceased.
Yeah, that lake can be really lethal.
Yeah,
we hear a lot of drownings. There was certainly something for people to keep in mind as we're entering the heat of this summer season. One other thing I want to ask you about is yesterday we saw that Officer Christopher McCrae was released from Frederick Hospital. He received a police escort home. It was a very moving scene.
Yes.
With all of the first responders out there, and it seemed like half of the Milwaukee Police Department was there.
Yeah.
And I mean, the good news is he is going home. But what do we know about Officer Kendall Corder's condition this morning?
As of right now, it's still the same. It's still very critical condition. We hope that he's going to be okay. But the news as of right now is still all the same, that he's still under those really critical conditions, and we're still awaiting those, the answers of whether or not he will survive this tragedy at all.
Well, and the interesting thing is, as we've been talking about, there were 2 other officers in the last 5 months who have been shot here in Milwaukee, both Officer David Gonzalez and Officer Sam. Excuse me if I'm mispronouncing his name, but I believe it's Schwabenland.
Mm-hmm.
And Judge Borowski on Wisconsin Afternoon News with John McCure the other day was talking about how dangerous Milwaukee has become, in part because so many suspects they go to court and they're let back on the street.
Yep, and that's the main issue right now. I mean, we've seen so many court cases recently where they've had these pasts of committing these crimes, and then they're right back in it for doing the same thing or similar things, and it's really shocking to see how much tragedy and danger that's been going on recently in the past few months. Whether it's going to a different court case every week and trying to figure out what's going on with that person, or just looking back at all the history that's been going on this year.
Well, and in addition to that, of course, we're hearing that the suspect in custody, Tremaine Jones, and they're awaiting charges, obviously. Right. But in 2023, he pleaded guilty to resisting an officer. He was caught driving a stolen car and was never sentenced to jail time.
Right. So that's just that's what we get, I guess, for not charging him, I guess, in that instance.
No, he was charged. He just
didn't get the jail time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So something. Well, I know
it's a common occurrence so far with some of these criminals.
Well, you can understand why Alex Ayala from the Milwaukee Police Union is so upset with this happening to these officers, because it's just terrible.
Yeah.
But
they want all these people to start pressing harder charges to make sure that there's less violence around here. So.
Yeah. Well, I know you're going to keep us informed on what's happening.
Absolutely.
Nazir Spencer, thank you so much. And speaking of police officers and those who serve us, in just a couple minutes, we are going to be joined by Wisconsin State Trooper Bobby Simpson, and he's got some tips for you if you are taking to the roads this summer season, and we'll get to that right after this on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News. It's 75 degrees at 9:12.
Staying active, essential for overall health. Proper medical support, essential for staying active. WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Whether it's keeping a weekend warrior like me on the tennis court or keeping young athletes in the game, you want the best in sports medicine. That's OAW. Surgeons, nurses, and physical therapists help you recover from injury, avoid injury in the future, and enhance performance. Get care 7 days a week. Walk right in at an Ortho ASAP clinic or book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
While your record says that you prefer to hang out at the bottom, just make sure you don't leave anything over the middle.
2-pitch Ortiz hits in the air to the left. With some carry, Frazier back, still back. Wall, it's gone! Back-to-back innings with a home run for Joey.
The Brewers host the Rockies for a 3-game series. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
John Mercure here for Landworks, Wisconsin. Are you looking at your yard and thinking about what could be? Not just new flowers, but a complete vision? A beautiful stone patio that flows into a winding garden path, leading to the perfect spot for a fire pit. Landworks, Wisconsin specializes in bringing those big ideas to life. From the initial sketch to the final planting, their expert team manages the entire project, ensuring your new outdoor living space, the patios, the walls, the gardens, all work together in one seamless, stunning design. Start your transformation today at landworkswisconsin.com.
Hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Stormfisher with Stormfisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. The Brewers beat the Rockies in a landslide 5-0 victory yesterday afternoon. A 2-run homer from Joey Ortiz and an RBI double from Bryce Terang helped finalize their victory. The Brewers and the Rockies meet one more time this afternoon. The first pitch is at 1:10. Our coverage starts at noon with Brewers warm-up here on WTMJ. For WTMJ Sports, I'm Isaac Marquardt.
Thanks a lot, Marquardt. It is 9:15. We have 75 degrees coming up in just a couple minutes. You're going to meet Wisconsin State Trooper Bobby Simpson on Wisconsin Weekend Morning News.
EAA AirVenture Oshkosh. Early bird discount extended until June 30th. Tickets at EAA.org/tickets. An unforgettable week, July 21st through the 27th. All the only in Oshkosh moments. A week full of endless possibilities. Daily air shows, world-class performers, historic aircraft displays, hands-on activities for all ages. 18 and under get in free thanks in part to the Boeing Company. Don't wait. Lock in with the early bird pricing extension today at EAA.org/tickets.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the July Independence Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian design recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with